I want to hear what Ben has to say. He made the sweatiest Walz clip.
Kamala Harris is bringing out gigantic crowds. Democrats are, in fact, enthused. They brought out Josh Shapiro for a little bit of a consolation run. He yelled a bit.
I don't get it. Like, why is he writing for Josh Shapiro? Why is he wet? That's my first question. My first question is, why is he wet? Second question is, oh my God, how much makeup does he normally use? I'm just noticing a lot of lines on his face now when he's not in the regular setting that he's in. Last but not least, why the are these guys acting like they, one, really love Joe Biden and were mad that he was swapped out, and two, really love Josh Shapiro and are mad that the Democrats didn't go with Josh Shapiro? There is no better example that the Dems did a good thing again than all of the Republicans collectively being like, well, I sure think you guys are anti-Semitic for not going with Josh Shapiro.
Voice broke, and he talks a little bit about being Jewish, which gave Democrats cover to ignore the fact that the explicit reason they did not pick him is because he's a Jew. And then Kamala Harris did an entire speech in which she really didn't talk about politics very much.
It's so funny. It's like, are they going to be like, yeah, that's why they didn't like Bernie Sanders? Is that what they're going to say next? Like, the Democrats actually Bernie? Obviously, Republicans are always mad, but they're extra mad now.
If you go back far enough, he was a high school football coach. And don't you know, he's a teacher and a high school football. He's basically Mr. Feeney, but more athletic. He's like Ed Asner, avuncular, moderate, just one of the boys. You know, a guy who can crack a beer and can shoot a rifle, but is also really, really in favor of gun control and transing the kids. That's basically the pitch.
Bro, he's mad that Walz is too good.
Where people start actually cheering USA. And why are they cheering USA? Because she says, what an amazing country this is. What an incredible country where a person like me.
I like that Ben Shapiro is mad that like America is a country where like you can be middle class, like raised by a single mom, and like one day run for president as like a black Indian woman. And that is like the reason why Ben doesn't like America. It's the one thing he hates about America. He's like, I wish America wouldn't allow those sorts of things. So he's just like upset. Okay.
Middle class person, or Tim Walz, middle class person, can become the president and vice president of the United States. Now, I agree with that. But she doesn't agree with that. She believes that America is systemically racist. So does Tim Walz. Tim Walz said,
you know, those two things can still coexist, right? Systemic racism can still exist, and people from marginalized backgrounds can still thrive in the country. It's like some of the best aspects of America and some of the worst aspects of America. Also, the reason why you love America, because of the second thing. You love America because of systemic racism that you routinely deny even exists, and you get paid a lot of money to do that.
Is this idea that these folks are real reminders of what brings us together, that what they are really interested in more than anything else is governing for all Americans. They are radically to the left. This is why the Trump campaign has a moral obligation to remind the American people that these people are radically to the left.
I need Ben Shapiro to explain to me policies such as paid family leave and medical leave, and policies such as free breakfast and lunch programs for all school children in public schools are actually somehow magically harming Republicans. Is he claiming that these policies actually are written in a way where, like, if you're like a Republican, if you're like a Ben Shapiro viewer as a school kid, you don't get the free lunch? Is that what he's saying? What is this argument? Like, oh, these radical policies. It's like, point to the policies, Ben. Tell me why it's bad. Because they never talk about it. He's against free lunch.
So Ben Shapiro.
That kids from hunger. Wouldn't it make sense to strengthen food stamps and have school lunch be free, since some kids are in school lunch debt? Well, I mean, if you are, school lunches are not going to solve the problem of child hunger at any serious level. If there is a problem of children actually...
That's wrong. That is literally wrong. You're just wrong. You're so wrong. Oh my God. Oh, that's awesome. I love these sociopathic, bloodless monsters genuinely advocate against policies that virtually every Republican in the state are on board with.
Starving, that is a child endangerment scenario to which CPS needs to be called. If you're talking about like actual child starvation, the truth is it does not take that much.
He's like, yeah, if you're poor, if you're broke as and you rely on government subsidies of any kind, including but not limited to like having the government take care of 2 meals for your child, then Child Protective Services has to come in and kidnap your child. Please, dude. This is what I always mean. This is why it's so good when you actually do progressive economic policies, because these bloodless monsters, these bloodless sociopathic monsters have to explain their worldview. And when they do that, you can just literally show the world what they think. You can show the world what they think. No Republican with a child who's going to school is going to hear that and go, yeah, no, I actually think that's a good idea. I'm telling you, that's weirdo behavior, dog. That's weirdo behavior. Don't let them run the table on issues that they have already successfully captured the American audience on. Force them to openly explain away their psychopathic, bloodthirsty, bloodless, soulless, sociopathic worldview.
Much money to feed a child. I know I have 3 of them. You should be feeding your child before you feed yourself. It's that simple. There's a much deeper problem at work than school lunches if kids are legitimately starving.
That's great. That's his policy, dude. That's his policy solution. We're going to kidnap your children, dude. Small government, by the way. I love small government. Hey, man, are you too broke? Do you not have a multi-gorillion dollar media company like I do, where I just chirp about dumb all day? Then you should have your children be kidnapped. Great take, man. Great take, man. That's awesome, dude. Thank you. Let's continue with Ben Shapiro. I want to see what else he has to say. Let me tell you, from the people that brought to you, Barack Obama is a Muslim Kenyan terrorist, okay? And basically ran with that, by the way, and voted for a guy who repeated those insane racist conspiracies, is going to be the cry bullying, okay? Oh my God. I love the cry bullying coming from the Republican Party. They, on a daily basis, lie about everything. Their policy positions are built on top of hysterical lies, oftentimes racist, vitriolic sentiment, okay? Hysterically racist, vitriolic sentiment. But then beyond that, they also lie about all manner of different things. This is the party that said Paul Pelosi was gay lovers with David DePipe, okay? Who broke into Nancy Pelosi's house and tried to kill Paul Pelosi and kidnap him. Very much ran with that, okay? They did. Now, they might have been right on that. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop saying that David DePipe and Paul Pelosi were in a gay relationship. I'm going to stop doing that. But like these guys who regularly lie all the time about every single thing, now they're going to turn around and be like, JD Vance never couch, and it's really messed up that Tim Walz actually brought up the couch thing.
It doesn't exist in Hillbilly Elegy. Supposedly J.D. Vance having some sort of sexual relationship with the couch is really stupid, but it's become a Democrat meme, and now you've got the vice presidential contender who's actually throwing that out there in public. Wink, nod. He even stopped and said, you can see what I'm doing there.
Here's the video, by the way. Let's roll the clip.
And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there?
He's such a dad, bro. That is such a... He has the vibes. Sorry, it puts a smile on my face because it's like a lot of old head HasanAbi fans know I love that classic like dad joke. I love classic dad jokes because of that Applebee's TikTok. Yeah, like the... I guess they let anybody in here. Like, he had that locked in the chamber, dude. You can tell. Look at his face. He had that locked in the chamber. Now, before you go, I guess Democrats are running with the Twitter memes as well. So the Democrats are using Twitter talking points too. No, dog. He knows JD Vance didn't a couch, okay? He's joking. There's a difference between that and then some dude seriously being like, he's a Somali. He genuinely changed the flag of Minnesota to look like the Somali flag. What the are you saying? Yeah, he's the crypto Somali VP. You understand that there's a difference between him being like, see what I did there? Like a double entendre, also known as a joke. Republicans being like, Kamala Harris is literally not black. So that's what he was chirping about. It is pretty funny that these guys will turn around and be like, I can't believe that they are saying these really mean things about JD Vance. How dare they? And I saw a couple tweets on the timeline of them being like absolutely nutty about this. Here's number one from the Majority Report. Slandering someone based on a post is indeed propagating misinformation and is very bad behavior. And this is very bad story. Instead of Republicans are complaining story, if I made a concerted effort. And this guy turned around and did. I've seen the video at Tim Walz. The top of the standard issue orange traffic cone, raw dog. Crazy thing about it, he's like freely suspended over top of it. The base of the cone is supporting all of his weight. Doesn't make any sense, but it's impressive. He was trying to make a joke. This is a conservative man attempting to make a joke. Anyway, here's you slandering someone based on a post. Meet Dee Dee Duffy, a preschool teacher in Cape Coral, Florida. She says teachers teaches her students that if they don't like their parents, they can find another family. She also teaches them to be gay. This right here goes from coworker conversations to like, oh, ew, we got to avoid this guy at the place of business. Possibly an HR violation. You know what I'm talking about? That's one of my favorite TikTok popularized sentiments is like, oh, this is a coworker type song. I love that. This turns into not a coworker take, but instead an HR violation very quickly. Yeah, coworker take. Find out about Haktua from my coworker. I think that tweet is an obvious joke. Yes, it is an obvious attempt at a joke. It is an obvious attempt at a joke, but they're being weird about it. They're not doing a good job. The other thing that Osita actually put forward pretty well. So this is slandering someone based on a post, indeed propagating misinformation and really bad behavior. And it would be a this is very bad story instead of Republicans are complaining story. If I made a concerted effort to go on TV and imply Governor Walz a traffic cone. Yes, I know that you're a prude who can't take a joke if you point out that telling lies about a public figure, inanimate objects is bad and juvenile, and it's such a fun treat because the public figure can't defend against it without elevating it and debasing themselves. All the misinformation reporters can go traffic cones. She said that, and Osita quote tweeted and said, exactly zero interest in hearing from people who spent the last 15 years on TV shows aimed at convincing old people Democrats are going to do Sharia law about this joke. I'll be fully willing to reconsider the propriety of the couch joke if it leads to a terrorist attack on Congress as they're trying to certify an election. I'm not unreasonable. The right should be thanking Jesus every single day that the Democratic Party is run by people whose idea of responding in kind to years of fully unhinged and depraved Republican rhetoric and misinformation is a goofy little meme, and the word weird couldn't be me. Yeah, meanwhile, Stephen Miller is saying, under the Harris-Walz plan, they're going to turn the entire Midwest into Mogadishu. That is a perfect representation of like how unimaginably unhinged the right is on a daily basis. This is exactly like when they tried to turn around and say that calling Trump Hitler is the reason why he got shot by a registered Republican, mind you. Like, what are we doing? Democrats are pussies. I wish they would be more aggressive in their language, dude. What are you talking about? So is JD's fault? First of all, yes, it is his fault. You want to know why? Because he's a charismaless, a careerist, soulless piece of and a blood boy to Peter Thiel, who got $10 million from Peter Thiel, and now is stuck on a ticket after years and years of trying to retriangulate to the worst groypers online to like really beef up his bona fides in terms of like how much of a Republican he is now getting his comeuppance. So yes, I think people saying he couch, well, knowing he never really couch, is perfectly valid. We are talking about the Republican Party who didn't just make memes, actively ran on the lie that Ilhan Omar, her brother. What are we talking about? There are still tons of Republicans who literally believe that. So no, I don't give a shit about the couch. I think the Democrats should do more of it, okay? They're so incredibly racist. And yeah, the reason the couch thing worked was because it was an organic post with no strings attached. It was just purely for shits and giggles. They can't just take that fallout and turn it around. It's too transparent. They still call Michelle Obama a man, but they are the number one cry bullies. And Ben Shapiro is doing that right now because he's such a little gross little piece of
the whole idea here. Meanwhile, don't worry, he's bringing Americans together. Now, at no point were the challenges that actually face the country ever brought up. The challenges, apparently, according to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the big challenges are that Obamacare might get repealed. That's like the big challenge. The big challenge is that Donald Trump might ban abortion, which, of course, he has said he is not going to do and has no interest in doing.
Yeah, that's crazy because like Donald Trump has always been so honest about his policy positions. And so is the Republican Party famously, which is why every single Supreme Court of the United States justice appointment that Donald Trump made actively lied to the entire American population. And the Senate Judiciary Committee, when they claimed that they would not overturn Roe v. Wade and that it was a super precedent, they lied about that. So why the would anybody ever believe them? Oh my God.
At no point was there any talk about fixing the economy. Apparently, the big threat to the economy is the Donald Trump tax cuts, according to Tim Walz. And if those tax cuts were to continue, people might be able to keep more of their own money. And that is a serious, serious problem. Meanwhile, you have Kamala Harris out there. No mention of the fact the Middle East is on.
Hit this line every time. Republicans hit this line. I know that I said that like this is what the Republicans should be running on actively. When someone asked me like, how would you advise the Republican Party? And the counter to it is perfect, which is you want corporations to get more tax cuts? Are you out of your mind? You give the working poor $5 off and then you let the billionaires run the table. The amount of their like real income that they're being taxed on at the end of the year is like 0.3%. Okay. The average American's real income that is being taxed at the end of the year is like 37%. It's abysmal how little the wealthy pay taxes. Shut the up.
No serious dealing with issues. And that is the theme of this campaign. In the end, that's the theme of this campaign. Ignore everything. Ignore all of the activities of the Biden campaign and the Biden-Harris administration. Ignore all of it. Ignore Tim Walz's tenure as governor. Ignore all of it. They are casting a TV show. And in this TV show, you have the very charming Kamala Harris, who apparently is filled with joy. That's the other thing that we learned.
That's another great take. He's seething so hard. He's like actually mad that they look good, that they're telegenic, and that he's stuck with Donald Trump. That's great, man. It's just don't watch it if it's just a TV show, big dog.
So you got the words unity and you got a lot of joy. According to Tim Walz, Kamala Harris is not weird. Right? That crazy laughter, that stuff, not weird. That's joy. The weird dancing and the strange motions, that's not weird. That's
Give me the clip, chat. Aiden Ross with Donald Trump. I know you have it. I know you have it dialed in, okay? Remember, Kamala Harris is weird because she laughs a lot and she dances, right? But Donald Trump, on the other hand, very normal. That's why when he went on Aiden Ross's kick stream on the pedophilia platform, the funniest part about this is that like Aiden Ross looks exactly like young conservatives now. Like when he put this fit on, he looked exactly like the YAF boys, you know, the Young Americans for Freedom boys that you see, like the most annoying person at every college campus. Like he turned into that instantly. He looks like such a little groiper, dude. Holy. Not weird, man. Very normal.
They do not understand that Tim Walz, who had people chanting, "Mind your own business" at this rally, literally forced everyone to close their business in the state of Minnesota during the pandemic. He was one of the worst lockdown governors in America. It's up to Donald Trump and team to remind people of that. The media are not going to do it.
It's just odd because he's like seemingly very popular. Like Ben doesn't seem to think so, but like the people in his own state do think that. Like they think he's popular. They like him. I don't really understand. Like, how about you mind your own business? What do you mean?
It's easy to forget that she actually got ahead in politics by being pretty good on the stump, at least from 2019 on or so. She hasn't met the road yet. The rubber has not met the road. She's not been asked a tough question. But Republicans are going to have to do that. I don't want to open my YouTube and see 100 Kamala Harris Tim Walz ads. The Trump campaign needs to be dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into introducing the Harris Walz.
Dude, why is he so sweaty? He's so wet and mad. It's weird.
Bail out the rioters from prison candidate and the governor who didn't want to put them in prison in the first place. They need to introduce that team to the American people, because if the only team the American people see is the team that was at that rally, that's very good news for Democrats.
Zionists are fleeing the Dem Party, They're not. Like, they're just not. This is Batya Sargon. Get the out of here. Like, you saw Batya Ungar Sargon tweet, "My fellow American Jews, it's time to have a little self-respect and walk away from a party that's telling your children they can't be vice president because the anti-Semites in the party must not be upset." Like, are you insane? It's got 1,000 likes. Like, it's complete silliness, okay? The anti-Semitism narratives are so silly. Like, you're talking about a person retweeting Babylon being concern trolling. Here's Bulwark Online White House correspondent. The J.D. Vance couch thing is totally invented and arguably slanderous post, and I'm gobsmacked that the guy I've been hearing all day is Mr. Midwest Decency would pull it out at his introductory rally. A mean but directionally accurate jab of some real quality in Vance. You know, you're pearl clutching. Suck my Democrats should keep that up. Maybe not the couch jokes all that much, but like the weird narratives and everything like that. They play real goddamn well, in my opinion. Let them mold. Let them cope. Let them seethe, okay?